and the winner for the best political strategy ever, the Republican Party. After months leading up to the election, and especially since the election, the Republican Party has spent every waking moment trying to claim that the entire thing was fraudulent and that they really won. Of course, there are many states where the Republican senator, congressperson, etc. won, but Trump did not. Somehow only the Trump vote was fraudulent and not the one where the Republican won. That is fine. Same ballot, same piece of paper. Doesn't matter. So the one state where there needed to be 2 runoff elections for both Senate seats is Georgia. That election is going to be happening in January, and it is super close. Each election is close, and the consequence of both these elections are really close. Basically, whichever party wins both these seats has the majority in the Senate. So, lots of writing on this election. So the Republican political strategist Ronna McDaniel, who, according to Wikipedia, Ronna McDaniel is an American political strategist serving as chair of the Republican National Committee since 2017. She might want to look for a new job. So she, of course, as you would, goes down to Georgia, try to rally the troops, get everyone excited to vote for their party and everything. And what happened was the whole crowd screaming at her that they are of course, they're not going to vote. The election was fraudulent. Why would we go and vote in a fraudulent election? Why would we vote if our votes aren't going to count? And so she has to then about face and tell them, no, this election isn't, she said this election isn't already decided. And she has to tell them that the election, well, maybe it was rigged. I can't really say it wasn't rigged, but this next one is not going to be rigged, so we need you to vote. And they were just not having it. There is apparently a large movement going on, largely on social media right now, of Republicans in Georgia who are going to vote, but they're going to write in Trump's name. So many of these that Georgia election officials got rid of the write-in option on the ballots. So I don't know what they're going to do, but a lot of people down there, a lot of Republicans are not going to vote in protest because they think this whole thing was fraudulent. So then there's this huge outdoor rally where Trump impersonator and attorney Lynn Wood goes down there and angrily screams at his own supporters that of course you shouldn't go and vote for the person you want to win. Of course not. He said, while wearing a Make America Great Again hat, which, as we all know from social media, has a nice little Made in China label on it. Wearing his Made in China hat, he goes down there and screams at people that, of course, we're not going to go vote on machines made by China. So this is going to be very interesting. A strategy of convincing all of your supporters that the entire election was fraudulent, and that's why you lost. And then it turns out that that wasn't the end of the game, and you still need them for another round. You need them to go out and vote for you. So now, you have some people telling Republicans in Georgia not to vote, in fact, to protest the vote for somebody else, write in Trump's name, whatever you're going to do. And you have other people saying just straight up, do not vote. Whatever you do, don't vote, because it's all rigged. It's all rigged by China and all these other boogeymen. Even though there's no evidence of that whatsoever. And then for one of the races, you had current Senator David Perdue, who is being investigated for buying stocks and selling stocks before the pandemic really took off, as is the other Republican senator in the same race, going up against John Ossoff, who owned him so badly in their first debate that he refused to show up for the second debate. But I don't know if they expected that he might or might not show up, or if everyone was just looking to clown him. But they set up this in-person debate with moderator and podiums and everything, and they introduced the dude's empty podium. They had a camera on an empty podium and introduced him, and then said, "Oh, he's obviously not here." And John Ossoff, the Democrat, kept saying, "Well, my opponent this," and every time he motioned towards the podium, the camera would cut to the empty podium. It was I don't know if everyone there was just looking to clown on this guy or what, but it was beautiful. So it's going to be really fun to see what happens here. I'm sure that either way, the Republicans will claim that it was all fraudulent, just like they're still doing with this election.